So the module which I will introduce is the Lombiq Orchard Privacy module. It's an open source module, and it's helped to inform the users about the site privacy policy. This module provides three features. The first one is this privacy policy banner. This will show up if the user is unauthenticated, and the user must they can accept or reject this consent, and if they do this, then a cookie will be stored in the browser. This feature is built on the top of the ASP.NET Core cookie privacy feature. So we can configure this stored cookie in the setup file. Yeah. The second feature of this module is we'll add a checkbox to the registration form, and if this feature is enabled, then the new users must accept the privacy policy when they are registered in the system. And there is the checkbox. So if I want to create a new user, then I must check this checkbox, and in this case, the banner won't show up, of course. Yes, and the other thing, in this case, the user, the system is stored this the effect of the privacy acceptance in the database. But if there is a user who was created before this feature, they can accept the privacy policy via the banner too. And the third feature of this module is this will I show it on the GitHub page, is a widget, a widget which will provide a checkbox to any form, and it can check. So it will force the user to check this checkbox if they want submit the form, and to validate this action, I created a workflow activity too, and for every feature there is a setting section, and on these pages we can customize the site privacy information, for example, to the banner or for the checkboxes. So that was the privacy module which I want to introduce. Thank you. Any question?
Yes.
Okay.
I have 57 questions. Does anyone have questions also?
Yes.
Antoine, you first.
Why is it splitted in 3 pages? Why is it not in a single pages?
These settings?
Yeah.
The settings was created with custom settings module. Yeah, first I implemented with a single page, but after some discussion,
Don't say, because we'll blame them after, and we should not blame them.
Okay.
So I agree with Antoine. That's weird to have 3 settings there, but that's not just that. So I think Antoine meant that why not have 3 settings, 3 links, but in a sub menu? Why first level like this? It's fine to have 3 menu items, but it should be organized in the settings menu and probably under privacy. So then you can have the 3 other things.
Okay.
However, I will go further than that. Then I will jump on Antoine's suggestion, which is why can you change the UI like this? Why not provide these values as shapes, and then you can change the templates in the template sections or in your theme?
It's a very good question. First implementation of this module was a Orchard 1 module, and this was the way how it implements
this
functionality.
So on Orchard Core, we'll suggest to do that, to use a shape instead. And then because we have admin templates, you can even predefine them in the admin using the shape template. So they are already available, and people can change that or use their own file system one if they want. So that would be a suggestion instead.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
So Terry wants to say something.
Yeah, may I add, should we use Bootstrap for the pop-up instead of jQuery UI?
Well, it's because in Orchard 1 it was like this. So it just ported exactly what was in Orchard 1, which was great, right? But it's the same UI, I'm sure, the same HTML. It's really not super modern. But yeah, that's why I think that's what Soteris is saying, because on the web you can find some of them which are typical, but much more modern than that. That's weird, yeah.
No, because I think that in Orchard Core we have Bootstrap.
So yeah, it depends on the theme, right? So at that point you would have to make one per different theme, or have the default use Bootstrap. So it's a choice. I mean, our themes, they use Bootstrap, but if tomorrow you use something else, and then it will download also Bootstrap to just render the pop-up. So I don't know. We have to make a choice, maybe.
Yeah, but now you have to load jQuery UI.
You mean with the current pop-up that he showed?
Yeah.
I see.
So yeah, it's better to load Bootstrap than jQuery UI.
I don't know.
This module was implemented with Bootstrap, but I tried to achieve that looks like the old one implementation.
And in the settings here, can we change? No, it doesn't contain the pop-up, it's just the text, which means here what you type is, I see, it's not, you can't change the design.
With a shape override, we can. This banner is a CSHTML file or a shape, so it's overrideable.
And the settings here, they are just some piece of the banner. That's what you mean? Or you can show us the file in GitHub. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. this section, the body, is
I see.
is settings. Yeah.
And the buttons, for instance, I agree, I don't agree, is just translated text.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to change that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you show us the CSHTML file in the GitHub, maybe we can see that you can change everything actually. If it's just another shape.
There is a resource for the banner, and this is the
full thing.
The full thing, yeah.
Okay. And here, if you don't like the text, you can change it, translate it or not. Interesting.
Any other question?
I'm thinking about this one. Questions, yes. When the user is authenticated or can check the checkbox when they register, does it save it in database also?
If they register, it will be stored in the database in the user content item property section.
Okay.
Now it's just the fact of the acceptance, so we don't store any date time or anything else, just that fact the user checked this checkbox.
And is it on purpose?
Sorry, I can't.
I mean, is there a reason not to store the date time because you're mentioning it? You can say I don't know, or you can say
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, because you mentioned it. I mean, if you mention it, I thought for me it means that you had some intent by mentioning it, because maybe it's important I could say then maybe it's illegal to store it and that's why you mentioned it, or maybe you might have thought that it might be interesting to store the date time, like to tell the user, hey, no, you check that on that date, so don't say you didn't check it. You see what I mean? So I don't know. So you don't. Okay.
Yeah.
What was the other feature? The form thing. I don't really understand why it's not just a checkbox and it has to be a custom form part and a custom event. What does it mean? What does it mean to have a consent on a form? It's not related to that, right? It has nothing to do with GDPR or.
Yeah, it's a very funny thing. I re-implemented it because it was in the previous version, the Orchard 1 version of this module. But it's a very strange thing. And if the user is accept the privacy policy in any other way, like the banner or with registration, the checkbox won't show up.
I see.
By default.
But that's weird to have it on the form then. On the forms, like on the forms in general. That's weird.
If it's a edge case, but if somebody wants use that just one for this form, this privacy checking thing, then they don't need to enable the privacy banner or the registration checkbox.
I understand, because you might say, we already asked the user about privacy policy and they agreed, so why ask again? At the same time, some might say, yes, you accepted the GDPR thing, but you might not accept to, I don't know, it might hide the fact that you are also granting more rights. There is not just a single set of rights. So it's not because you click the checkbox on the cookie that you agree that all your information, personal information after that, I don't know. That's weird. That's kind of dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a feature. You don't have to use it, but that's weird.
Yeah.
I don't do websites that will require me to understand all the details of that, but I believe people will have so many details that they would not want to use that. It's hiding stuff.
I think in the .NET Orchard 1 version we use it. Gabor, is it used?
Yeah, this privacy module used in the older .NET side, be it for Orchard 1, and we use this one for the upcoming .NET Core version for Orchard Core. And yeah, the main idea here is to have 3 different kind of features in these modules that can be turned off or turned off. And I think that's why you could see 3 different submenus in the configuration, because it was done in that way. But yeah, we can have it just in one menu.
Okay,
thank you.
That's cool. That's cool. That's something that we missed. I didn't know. I don't know if anyone else has done a GDPR module already somewhere. We don't have one by default. I think we still have an issue to say we should have one by default, because that's very common. Like, you have to have one now. So that's great. Thank you.